right, I'd like to call public session to order. I ask that you step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Right now I have 5 people signed up to speak. First one is Bill Meyer.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Meyer. I live at 173 West Albany, and I'm here over a zoning concern. And I have some pictures. If I could distribute these to one of the councilmen. I also have a flash drive with pictures to show the property. The problem has been at 38 Singleton. I built a 30 by 50 garage, and all the concern was. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for letting me come up here and give me the time to express myself. Thank you. But anyway, I built this garage, and at 34 Singleton, which is the lot adjacent to it, it's been grown up. So the concern when I built the garage was if it would devalue the neighborhood, which it hasn't. So I got some stuff written down, and we'll see how it goes from here. Okay. The first picture that you have is that's from 2006. That's an aerial view from Google. And that shows that the lot was cleared because obviously you can see the trees that outline the property, and there's one set of trees that is facing Singleton Street. The second picture is from 2012, May of 2012, when the property was sold to the present owner. There's a for sale sign, and above it says sold, and you can see that the property was cleared, and the tree line, that's the existing tree line that you see in the first picture. And then it goes on. The second picture, or the third picture, I'm sorry, shows the lot was being cleared and the pile of debris that was out by the road. And then the fourth picture is the sold sign from Prudential to the present owner. And the fifth picture is today's present lot, which is totally grown up. And the sixth picture also. This picture that is on the screen now is the one with the debris that they had cleared off the lot. And let's see, next picture should be the for sale sign, and that's another picture of the debris with the lot cleared. In present day, it is not. The problem was Chapter 249. Which 249 reads, it's in the vacant and occupied property maintenance. It says all premises shall be maintained free from debris and noxious weeds or grass in excess of 10 inches in height. Bushes shall not exceed 4 feet in height in front yard and 6 feet height in side or rear yard. Vacant structure shall be secured, and that's and then it goes on to mention natural habitat shall be maintained free from debris and noxious weeds or grass only where native vegetation interferes with vehicular lines of sight or pedestrian access to a public sidewalk. And in the code, the definition of natural habitat is uncultivated habitat whereupon native vegetation exists in a pristine state. Unless pristine means something different, I collect old cars. Pristine means in excellent condition. And if you look at the picture 5 and 6, I don't really call that pristine condition. Unfortunately, I don't have 5 and 6 on the big screen. It's in the smaller pictures. Okay, the property over the last 12 years, different times, and also before that, had been cleared over the last 4 or 5 years. It has been allowed to grow up. If you read Code 490, it says it reads that it should have been cleared. When I first discussed this with Councilman Gozik, he told me he would look into the overgrown property. Property is 113 by 140, so we're talking about a pretty large piece of property here. He returned my call in June and told me that the city couldn't do anything about this because it was a wooded lot. It states nothing about a wooded lot in 249.8. There's nothing about a wooded lot. I called Mr. Gozick in early July and asked for if he could get me a definition of the wooded lot. At that time, Mr. Gozick sent an email to the city attorney requesting the definition. I believe he also sent one to the code enforcement. There was no there's no definition addressing wooded lot. I finally received a call from Mr. Gozick on August 27th and stated that it was not a wooded lot, but the exception on 249.8 addressing a natural habitat. At this point, Mr. Gozick requested that I call Assistant Attorney Reynolds. I did contact Mr. Reynolds. I explained the situation. He told me that he would check with the code department and get back to me. A week later, he returned my call and told me that the code office told him because my wife owned the property and it was grown up then, the present owner did not have to clear the property. I don't know where that came from, but there's nothing in the code that says that. Let's see, where was I? Sorry, I lost my place. Okay. That was 3 previous owners ago, so I don't know what even that had to do with it. I could not believe that I was being told and asked him if I had it right, and he said yes. A few days later, approximately September 12th, I went to meet with the code department. I talked with Mr. Saturnon and he referred me to Mr. Bell. I asked him about what I was told by Mr. Reynolds, and he told me that it did not come from his office. We discussed the situation. He explained and showed me aerial pictures from Google Maps and interpreted the photo of at the time the present owner purchased the property. It was grown over. I went home and discussed the overgrown lot situation with my neighbor, and he suggested that I go on Google Maps and do a street level. I did and found that what you can see on the pictures, 2, 3, and 4 in your packet, the date of Google Maps is May 2012, which is exactly when he bought the property. There's a for sale sign with sold above it. I immediately made copies of the photos from Google. On Monday, September 17th, contacted Mr. Bell and asked if he might have a few minutes to meet, and he agreed. We met, and I showed him the pictures, and he made copies. At that point, I asked if anything could be done because he told me at our previous meeting nothing could be done because the property was purchased overgrown. I asked now that there are pictures at the time of purchase, it was cleared and being cleared by picture number 3 showing the large pile of branches and debris. Again, I built my garage. It was continually questioned about concerns whether my building would devalue the surrounding properties. I really don't think that that's happened. I feel the property, this property has devalued my property and the surrounding properties. I cannot work in my garage at night with the doors open because I don't know what's coming out of there. Neighbors have seen skunk, fox, possum, deer, raccoon. It's a great place for them to live. I don't really feel that in the city, this should happen. Now, the present owner lives in Baldwinsville. I spoke with him, and he just blew me off. He didn't really care. And I said, would you want to live next to this? He didn't have an answer for me. This is not just a cosmetic issue, but a safety issue. Again, neighbors have seen skunks and other animals coming out of there. I think I've shown this property has been cleared in the past. Keep in mind that nowhere in Section 249.8 does it state a time frame as to whether it was or not cleared. It just says that the city will make it be cleared if the grass is over 10 inches tall. Now, all these trees are just saplings. The tree line, as you can see in the original pictures right there, those trees have been there for probably 20 years. Okay, you don't do anything with them. But this lot was cleared. And now the trees are growing up. Everything, you've got Japanese, some kind of grass. I don't know, my neighbor can tell you more about that. I've been in contact with Mr. Gozick. We have at least 19 or 20 phone calls throughout the summer, and I would definitely like to thank him for his listening and patience. I would also like to thank Mr. Bell, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Sadanoff for their listening and their patience because they've had to put up with me for most of the summer. But I would really, ask the council to consider having something done with this property. I mean, everybody around me pays a lot of taxes. If this was in the country, you expect to live next to that. In the city, this isn't something I really expect to live next to after it's been cleared more than once. And this guy just doesn't care about clearing it. He doesn't care. I talked to his father, and his father said he cut the grass for 1 or 2 years, and his son didn't want to do anything to help him out, so he stopped doing it. But again, I thought, you know, I know I read somewhere that the city wants to try to cut down or put a cap on people that live out of town and not take care of their properties. Well, this guy lives in Baldwinsville, and he sure doesn't care about what's going on in Oswego. So I would really implore you guys to think about it and maybe see if we can get something done with this property. And thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next person signed up to speak is Justin Schmeck? Shemek.
How's it going, everyone? I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm the resident of 39 Singleton Street, so I live directly across from this lot that Mr. Myers was just talking about. I just wanted to formally go on the record to say that I'm opposed to the way that this lot looks. I walk out every day and look at it, and it's kind of an eyesore. I think it would do a lot for raising the value of the neighborhood if this lot was cleaned up. As far as a natural habitat goes, it really can't be considered natural habitat because the main vegetation in this lot is Japanese knotgrass, which is identified by the DEC as an invasive species. So it can't be natural habitat, and I would really like to see this lot cleared out, and I think it would make the neighborhood look a lot better. That's it.
John Knosp.
Good evening. Thanks for letting me speak. My name is John Knosp, and I live just south of the property that Billy's talking about. And believe me, there's stuff coming out of this lot. I don't know where they come from, but they're hiding in there someplace. And I got a small dog. And we go out about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and I want to be safe with this dog. The dog weighs about 9 pounds. And some of the stuff that's crawling out of this property weighs more than 9 pounds, believe me. But whatever you can do to help us out and get this cleaned up, I think it'd be great. Thank you.
Linda Meyer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm Linda Meyer, and yes, I'm Bill's wife. I had that lot started to be cleared by Mr. Sharkey, where we had the garage. And God bless him, Tom Halpin came up and told me and the man that was starting to clear it that if we cleared that lot, did we know that we had to keep it cleared for the rest of the time, keep it mowed down. Well, at that point, we owned both lots, and I did not want to get into that kind of trouble, so we didn't do it. Then when my son took it, he was going to build a house there, which, come to find out, there wasn't enough room for the house in the garage. He cleared it. And how I know that is because I myself, my husband, my ex-husband, and 2 friends, we did that. We cut trees down. We did everything on that lot ourselves. So it was cleared. We're not trying to lie to anyone. All we want is to be able to, I don't even want to go out and work on our mobile home, because the last time I was out there, our motor home, I had a tick on my shoulder. And I'm scared to go over there. And I know, Mr. Barlow, you know the land that they cleared for Niagara Mohawk at the end of our street on Hillside, where they cleared all that land. There used to be coyotes up there, and they actually walked up the middle of our roads. I don't want to think about that. And you can call the police station and talk to them. They come up and found needles. They found all kinds of things in that lot where the kids from high school would come up and hide. I don't want to live like that. And I know that none of you people would want to live that way either, or your own family. So I'm asking, please, just have them clear the lot. I mean, just clear it so that we can live our life. Thank you very much.
Just tell me, just so I know, when your son cleared the lot?
Yes, it was when Tom Halpin was there. Oh, when Tommy did.
So
I'm
it's been
terrible
cleared
with-
twice? It was cleared, grew,
All right,
and
we,
cleared again?
Yes, we cleared it for him, and then when he sold it in 2012, so it was probably about 2010,
So
because
in-
he sold it 2 years later when he found out he couldn't have the garage and the house. He sold it to Don, and we again made sure that everything was mowed down. We didn't have to cut trees or anything down, because obviously they didn't grow up or anything.
Yeah.
But it was as clear as a bell there. It was wonderful. The kids used to play there.
So
That's how...
it was about, if he sold it in 2012, are you saying that it was cleared in 2010-ish?
Before that, probably
Okay.
we did it in 2009,
Right.
because it took about a year to get things going on the
Okay.
house and everything, so,
Gotcha.
and it was cleared. We didn't clear the other side until I remarried, and I married Bill, and we decided to do the garage.
Okay.
And then, of course, then that's when we got permission from the board and stuff to clear it then.
And then just out of curiosity, it doesn't really matter, but when you sold it, when your son sold it in 2012, did he sell it to the person who still owns it now?
No. He sold it to Mr. Van Holtz, Larry Van Holtz.
Okay.
Don Canasp actually bought it, and he kept it maybe for a year or two. I'm not even sure.
Yep.
In fact, if you people walk down there, you can actually, if you can get through it, you can see the marks that they had where they were going to, they outlined where they were going to have the house and where they're going to have, it's still in there somewhere.
Gotcha. So then the person that owns it now lives in Baldwinsville? Do we know?
Yes, he does.
Anybody have any idea of what their plan was or why he bought it?
Well, he wanted to build too, but then he got a job out of town.
Okay.
So he decided that he would sell it. We were going to buy it back, but he wanted like 5 times the amount that we had,
Yeah.
what we knew it was worth.
Okay.
So he's been trying, for a while he was selling it. There was a for sale sign, but then once, I don't know, all of a sudden he took it down and he didn't try anymore.
Gotcha. All right, that's helpful information.
Okay.
All right.
Is that it?
Anything else?
Okay. No?
Okay.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you. Last person signed up to speak is Rick Skillen.
Thank you for listening to me. I came down here and I think that it's just not safe with the animals in there as well, because I have some small dogs and just worried about what they can contract from maybe rabid animals, who knows, so it should be cleared for the property value too of the city, to make the city look nice, because it's looking good a lot of places, and down there it's a nice area to live in, so we'd like it kept nice. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Anyone know if the property's still for sale? Is the property still for sale and the sign's gone, or what?
I talked to his father today, and he told me that Larry, his son, was going to put a for sale sign up, but he hasn't done it.
What's he asking? Do we know what he's asking for?
When he talked to me, he said, like, 5,500.
Yeah. Okay.
But the problem is, with being so, it falls off. When I was with Jim Bell, and we were looking at it, he's got a way to figure it out. It was like 16 feet was the pitch. So, in order for somebody to build on it, it would be almost impossible.
Sure.
But, in 2012, that's when Larry bought the property. That's why I showed you the picture.
Yeah.
Before that, Mr. Canales bought it from his son Tom. He had it for about a year. And then in 2012, he sold it to Mr. Van Holt. And again, it was buying it. So I did talk to him, but he just didn't really care to me. I'm waiting for the for sale sign, but he hasn't seen it. So.
Okay. Nobody else has signed up to speak. Would anyone else like to speak and address the council? All right. Seeing none, I'll
Excuse me,
adjourn.
I just
Go
wanted,
ahead.
for the record, I'm assuming you might be aware of this, but the code enforcement office did initially tell me that they couldn't do anything. Then they went back and they did clear for the line of vision for the street, but only back so far, and that was where it got locked. So I just wanted to make sure. I don't think that got mentioned tonight, so I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
All right. I will adjourn public session and call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. So I have 3 proclamations to read. The first one is for Fire Prevention Week. Fire Prevention Week, look, listen, learn, fire can happen anywhere. And I just want to say thank you to Fire Chief Randy Griffin in the Oswego Fire Department going out of their way, going the extra mile this year. Proclamation, and they'll continue their efforts for the next few weeks. Fire Prevention Week is October 18. Whereas the City of Oswego, New York is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting the City of Oswego, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. Home fires killed 2,735 people in the United States in 2016, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 352,000 home fires. The majority of U.S. fire deaths, 4 out of 5, occur at home each year. And whereas the fire death rate per 1,000 home fires reported to the U.S. fire departments was 10% higher in 2016 than in 1980, and residents should identify places in their homes where fires can start and eliminate those hazards. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half, and City of Oswego residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each separate sleeping area, and on every level of the home. And whereas the City of Oswego residents should listen for the sound of the smoke alarm, and when it sounds, respond by going outside immediately to the designated meeting place. And whereas the City of Oswego residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. The City of Oswego's firefighters are dedicated to reducing of home fires and home fire education. And whereas the City of Oswego residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take action to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2018 Fire Prevention Week theme, Look, Listen, Learn, Be Aware, Fire Can Happen Anywhere, effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Now therefore I, William J. Barlow, Jr., Mayor of the City of Oswego, do hereby proclaim October 7th through the 13th, 2018 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this city, and I urge all the people of the City of Oswego to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the City of Oswego Fire and Emergency Services during Fire Prevention Week 2018, dated September 24th, 2018. And I have Liam Declan Zalewski for the proclamation, and along with Chief Griffin and Lieutenant Mike Zalewski to receive the proclamation. All right, the next proclamation is for Blessings in a Backpack Day, which is September 27th, 2018. Every year I get to help go around the circle filling backpacks, and it's really a nice time. I encourage, well, do you just let people walk in and do it with us? All right, well, couple people here I might invite and pressure. September 27th, 2018, whereas nearly 70% of public school students nationally qualify for the federal free and reduced price school meals program, totaling nearly 31 million students, and whereas this program feeds students only Monday through Friday, meaning that many of these students are hungry on the weekends, and whereas the hunger has both short and long-term negative effects on children's health, weakening immune systems, increasing hospitalization rates, and impairing neural development, and whereas there are strong ties between nutrition and academic achievement, therefore ensuring that no child goes hungry is especially critical during the school year. And whereas Blessings in a Backpack, a 501c3 organization, provides food for elementary school children across America who otherwise have little or no food to eat on weekends during the school year. And whereas better test scores, improved reading skills, positive behavior, improved health, and increased attendance have been linked to students who are well-nourished 7 days a week. And whereas Blessings in a Backpack currently serves more than 87,000 students in 45 states across the country. And whereas these Blessings in a Backpack programs are administered by volunteers in communities across the United States who fundraise, purchase food, stuff and deliver backpacks to students once a week. And whereas the United States Conference of Mayors has adopted Thursday, September 27, 2018, as Blessings in a Backpack Day, whereby mayors across the United States will participate in backpack stuffing events, providing food for children in their communities who need it most. Now therefore I, William J. Barlow, Jr., Mayor of the City of Oswego, New York, do hereby proclaim September 27, 2018 as Blessings in a Backpack Day in Oswego, New York. If you want to come up. All right, last one. My man Jeff Hackman's here, which means we're going to have a parade soon, and the Speedway has dirt on it already, I'm aware, and all that good stuff. Proclamation is Super Dirt Week, October 1st, 2018 to October 7th, 2018. Whereas the week of October 1st through the 7th will mark the 47th year of Super Dirt Week in Central New York, and whereas organizers and local officials will be celebrating the third running of this event in Oswego County, and whereas Oswego Speedway's renowned Steel Palace will host the main events with qualifying events held at other dirt tracks throughout Oswego County and Central New York, and whereas over the course of the week, nearly 35,000 fans and more than 300 competitors will gather in Oswego County to participate in this event, and whereas Friday, October 5th, will celebrate dirt car racing in the city of Oswego, and whereas fans, sponsors, and participants from 18 states and 3 countries will generate an estimated economic impact of more than $12 million from the various activities associated with Super Dirt Week. Now therefore I, William J. Barlow, Jr., as Mayor of the City of Oswego, do hereby proclaim the week of October 1st through the 7th, 2018 as Super Dirt Week in the City of Oswego, New York, and that together we welcome our Super Dirt Week visitors and urge all our residents to join in the excitement of dirt car racing and the festivities that Super Dirt Week brings to our community. Signed, William J. Barlow, Jr. All right. What else? Last item, just let the public know they are invited to attend, well, first, we had a ribbon cutting Thursday at Kingsford Park School. I'd like to thank everybody who attended that nice event. It was really a great story. 2 years ago, second graders at Kingsford Park School came to City Hall on a field trip to lobby Councilor Gozick and I to replace their playground. And of course, we know the pace of government, but 2 years later, the now fourth graders on Thursday afternoon cut the ribbon. And I think that's a pretty special story and demonstrates to our youth that if you get involved and lobby and participate, then good things can happen. And we had a nice event Thursday, and I thank Councilor Gozick for the work he did in securing the $40,000 the city contributed, and also all the volunteers who helped install the playground. And along the same lines, tomorrow the public is invited to the Oswego Yacht Club, where we will officially unveil the work done at the Oswego Lighthouse, new exterior paint jobs, some structural work done to the platform, and some other issues that the lighthouse had. We also sealed and painted the roof and the windows as well. That starts at 10:30 tomorrow morning, open to the public. There will be cake, so I will be there. And we'll have remarks from Mercedes Niece, Will Barkley, and maybe some other people. We'll see. That's all I have. Anything from any of the councilors? Seeing none, will clerk please call Resolution 338.
Approve minutes, Common Council meeting held September 10th, 2018.
Councilor Tesorerio, Councilor DeMasi. Please call.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 339.
Appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor DeMasi. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 340.
Approve use of public space by the Buck Boosters in order to host the Buck Spirit 5K event on Saturday, September 29th, 2018.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 341.
Approve use of the Veteran Stage in Riverwalk West, Greg Mills, owner of Murdoch's, in order to host Taco Tuesday on Sunday, September 30th, 2018.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 342.
Authorize public hearing regarding proposed amendments to the Code of the City of Oswego, Chapter 257, Vehicles and Traffic Ordinance, Section 257-26D, Parking in Public Space Restricted.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Corradino. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 343.
Authorize public hearing regarding proposed amendments to the Code of the City of Oswego, Chapter 257, Vehicles and Traffic Ordinance, Section 257-27, Winter Parking Restrictions.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Hill. This resolution is about the permit parking policy that we're working on. The last resolution was about the prohibiting front yard the paving of front yards, which is a legislation that I brought forward last week. So I'd just like to run through that briefly. What this legislation intends to do is prohibit people from actually blacktopping between the curb and their home. The two obvious situations that have happened over the last few weeks where we had two separate neighborhoods with a lot of investment happening only to have property owners, and I believe both properties are rentals, take the green space, remove the lawn, and pave the front yard. And we are eliminating 3 paragraphs out of this law from being granted to do that. As it stands now, most of the time you have to come before the council and ask for public space, but I think the cleaner way to do it, the more consistent way to do it, is to just ban it altogether. Once people come in and ask, then you have constituents asking their electeds, you have politics involved and everything else. I think the best way to do it is just outlaw it altogether. We want our streets in the front of homes in the city to have trees and to have grass and to look like a neighborhood should, not drive down the street and see parking lots in front of residential homes. It's just counterproductive to everything we're trying to do. Last point is, in 2018, really landlords have had the last 30 to 50 years to walk in and get permission for just about anything they want. If a home who needs extra parking so bad that they have to pave their front lawn doesn't have it already, that means they probably don't need it to begin with and can find somewhere else to park without blacktopping their entire front lawn. The 2 situations that have happened recently, I think both could have been avoided, but it was just exactly what they did. So this will outlaw that altogether, and I think it's an important step to revitalize neighborhoods and been desirable neighborhood. So that was the last resolution that passed authorizing that public hearing. This is and I meant to add one more point. We will still offer, if you have lawn in front of your home in the winter, that means that you have green space because the grass usually is green. So we still will offer green space parking permits in the winter time for folks who need to get their car off the street. Right now you go to the police station and you get a parking pass. It has to be approved by the counselor of your ward and I believe the police chief, and then you can, if you need to, park up on your lawn for the winter time while that parking ban is in effect. So that is totally separate from banning the paving of the front lawns. This resolution, I apologize for having to go backwards, but this resolution is the work we are doing on expanding the permit system. Any comments from the council? See none? Oh, Councilor Tesreira.
Yeah, I would like to just add that this has been a great effort of the council and the committee that brought this forward. I mean, a great amount of compromise, a great amount of time and effort. Councilor McVerde spearheaded this effort to, seeing the needs of the community. We needed to do something to spearhead, making it more conducive. And I think what you have said about, protecting the green spaces also goes right along with what we're trying to do with this parking amendment that we're going to listen to in the public hearing. And I'd just like to say it's been a great privilege to be able to get through this, and it's a testimony to the council to, we had our disagreements and we worked through them and we saw a way to get it done. And I would just like to say thank you to everybody that had input in it. We had a lot of input from the community, counselors, department agencies, and hopefully this is something that we're going to go forward to, and it's going to work. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councilor Corradino.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to second Councilor Tesario's comments. This has been a ongoing process. As most people know, this started a couple years ago with the previous council, and some changes were made with a permit system. And at that time, it wasn't considered a final fix. And now, with Councilor McBurdy taking the lead on this, the next step in the permit process and the winter parking plan is now hopefully going to pass and will go to the next level. So again, I'd like to thank her for picking up the ball and carrying it over the goal line. Thank you.
You. Any other comments? Well, not, no. You can ask me after, though. Go ahead and ask it. Yeah, there's, if you meet certain criteria, yeah.
Because you know, last year was pretty bad. I mean, the street was terrible, the tires were parked there for days on end, and the following was the worst I've ever seen in the whole life of living in this city. So, hopefully, you guys will figure that stuff out.
Yes, I think we will. And this...
I mean, you know, you see it last year, remember? You guys go to the area, and we lived there our whole life.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 344.
Authorize mayor to sign change order number 1 with W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavating for the west side rehabilitation of sanitary sewers, second 25%.
Councilor Cordino. Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 345.
Approve transfer of funds from within the Department of Public Works.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 346.
Approve budget amendment to the transmission and distribution materials and supplies account for the completion of the Route 48 and West 4th Street water projects.
Councilor Tesorio, Councilor Gosick. Any comment?
Well, again, I just wanted to say thank you, excuse me, thank you to the DPW for getting this job done. There were some residents in the 5th Ward that were receiving or were getting rusty water for years. And again, testament to the Barlow administration getting things done here with all the projects we got, from fixing up the waterfront to repaving 104, you know, putting in our park with the DPW's help. And they managed to get all these things done and get our work orders done as well. So I appreciate it. I just want to thank the guys there from the DPW for doing a good job, and thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 347.
Approve attendance at the planning and preparedness training for the Chicago Marathon to be held October 5th through 7th, 2018 in Chicago, Illinois. Request of Randall B. Griffin, Fire Chief.
Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 348.
Waive rules of common council to present resolutions number 349 through 351 from the floor without committee consideration.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrady?
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 349?
Approve road closure of East Albany Street, also known as Caruso Brothers Memorial Boulevard, between City Line Road and Champagne Drive during Super Dirt Week events to be held September 29th through October 8th, 2018.
Councilor Tesorario, Councilor Wilmot. Any comments? Councilor Tesorario.
Yes, again, to reiterate the comments you made, Mayor, this is a great event. It's a great event for the 6th Ward, with the City of Oswego also. It brings a lot of revenue to the town, a lot of recognition. It's a super event. It's done extremely well. I'm just pleased to be able to have it in the ward, and you know, it's a big boon for what we do here in Oswego, and I think, you know, for years to come, I hope this event stays here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 350.
Approve bid submitted by W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavating Incorporated for the State Route 104 Streetscapes Improvements Project.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrady. This project, if you remember way back in January at my State of the City address, we outlined a few projects that we'd like to get done that involved State Route 104. Those projects were designed over the summer. The first project is the Forks in the Road West Side Entrance Gateway project. That is to improve public space in the median of 104 and on either side of the street on 104 as you're coming into the city from the west. You go by Fajita Grill down to the Forks in the Road intersection. The design, I actually showed it in a rendering in the in my State of the City address. It's a $150,000 plan to enhance, build out that median, add some landscaping, enhance the intersection, add flagpoles, light posts in that area. So the purpose of that project is we have so many people drive through this community, and even our own residents drive up and down Route 104 every day. And in my opinion, coming in, especially with SUNY Oswego, coming in from the west, coming down the 104 corridor, it's the face of our community and sees a lot of traffic every day, and it really should be the best looking area of our city. Right now the area from Forks in the Road heading east really to the sub shop needs work and improvement, and I think this is the start of beautifying that entrance. And in 2018, first impressions matter, and I think when somebody's driving into town and they see that intersection, which luckily now has fresh pavement on it, looks a little better already, but I think when you pull into town, we're giving the first impression, and the first impression shouldn't look the way it does now. So we've done some work with code enforcement on the homes in that corridor. We'll get to work on public space. DPW's done some work in the American Legion Park already, which looks a lot better. So I think this project needs to happen. I think it'll be a game changer for that area of town, and we hope the momentum continues up the street. At the same time, we want to give attention to the west side and east side equally. So the previous Common Council allocated $150,000 in a 5-year capital plan for the west side project. In my State of the City, I included that project, and then I included a project on the east side as well, and that project was included in this bid, and that's why this bid is $218,000. So we already have $150,000 allocated from the capital plan. This resolution asks the council for another $68,000 to do that project with the $150,000 we have, and the east side project as well. The east side project is up by the east side Dunkin' Donuts as you're coming down the hill. planting some trees, doing some landscaping, totally transforming the small triangle that's there to beautify that entrance as well, where we see really the same amount of cars come down that hill as well. And I think it's important to get momentum going on the east side and pay the east side as much attention as we are the west. I don't think it's anything we intentionally do, but occasionally it does seem like we're a little heavy on the west side, so we're going to spread the wealth and keep that project, get that project going. So this bid's for both. It's $218,000. The reason I had to move it off of the floor today is because the bid, it was designed through the summer, went out to bid in early September, and the bid closed September 20th. And I received the bid. I actually looked at the bid on the 21st, which was Friday. At that point, the agenda had already gone out, but the contractor says if we keep things moving now, he can get the infrastructure work done by November and be ready to plant the plants that are required to be planted in the fall in November, and then any plants and trees that require spring planting will be ready to go and planted once the weather lifts in the spring. So I'd like to get that work done, and rather than wait 2 weeks and set him behind 2 weeks and then risk the weather, I would like to take it off the floor and get moving on it now. W.D. Malone was the low bid. It was the only bid, and that's the same contractor that's doing our Pocket Park in the fall and spring as well. Any comments from the council? Councilor Hill.
When I ran for office, this area was a priority of mine, so very pleased to see it in the state of the city, and would ask for the other councilors' support on this. Also, I hope that this work does spread, and we see the momentum continue down Bridge Street all the way to downtown, where there's some tremendous work being done. We are seeing little bits and pieces of improvement along Bridge Street. There are several houses across from our jewelry store that are being renovated that were recently purchased. We also see the home next to the old Highway Oil that was always kind of a trouble spot for code enforcement, has been purchased and is being renovated. So there are really great things happening, a lot more work to do, but I think this will be a really good step in the right direction. So thank you.
Any other comments? Councilor Tesorario.
Glad to see a little bit going over to the east. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call resolution 351?
Authorize mayor to execute the amended lease agreement with H. Lee White Marine Museum Guild Incorporated for the Oswego West Pierhead Lighthouse.
Councilor DeMasi. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Any other comments to come before the council? Unfinished business. If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Wilmot, Councilor DeMasi. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.